Почитани присутни, дозволите на самиот почеток да искажам огромна благодарност за
Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, let me express my appreciation to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, especially Minister Macinsky, who supports our work. Today, officially, we signed an agreement for cooperation which formalizes the cooperation between the Club Skopje and the Ministry. Dear President Klaus, dear President Maidani, dear Ministers Kovac, Tolomoja, Idrak
соорганизатор на овој настан.
co-organizers of this event. The third Forum on Cultural Diplomacy is held at a time when the world is faced with wars, when new lines of division are fragmenting our world, when children are dying beneath the rubble of strategic goals, and when both the climate and our conscience are equally polluted. We are having this forum at times when we face daily security, ecological and health crisis, social injustices and moral dilemmas. Therefore, we must open not only our eyes but also our conscience. Today, we are not here only as politicians, diplomats, scientists, or artists. We are here as human beings who believe that the future must be built upon human dignity. Therefore, let us invoke two voices from the history of thought. Ivan Karamazov and Albert Camus. The first, a character from Dostoevsky's novel, emerging from the Russian steppes, rejects a world that justifies the suffering of children in exchange for a future of harmony. He says, I return the ticket. That is the voice of moral courage, a refusal to participate in a system that sacrifices the innocence. The second, Albert Camus, from the shores of the Mediterranean, offers us a rebellious man who rejects absurdity not with cynicism but with dignity. He says, I rebel, therefore I exist. This is a call not only to personal resistance, but also to global responsibility. These two voices do not come from the same geography or ideology, but they converge in a shared message. A world that seeks to be sustainable must be also just. Development without ethics is empty progress. Technology without solidarity is cold efficiency. Politics without culture is lost direction. Therefore, today, from this forum, we call for a global partnership for human dignity, a partnership where cultural diplomacy is not just protocol, but a living dialogue, where literature is not an ornament, but a conscience, where morality is not a luxury, but a precondition for sustainability. And here in the Balkans, the space between the East and West, between history and hope, we have a unique role, a region burdened with suffering, but also with rich spiritual depth. This is a place where cultures have clashed, but also intertwined. We know what it means to survive, but we also know what it means to forgive. It is exactly from here that the Balkans can offer an example of human resilience, cultural maturity, and a vision that unites rather than it divides. Hope does not rise from perfection, but from experience, and the Balkans have much to offer. The third voice, therefore, comes from the Balkans, from Kočarasin, the Macedonian poet who understood the pain of the oppressed. In his collection of poems, Why Don't He Write, he says, we are all brothers in suffering, we are all slaves to slavery. Let's Let the works of Dostoevsky, Camus, and Ratzinger be a reminder that a society does not hear the voice of consciousness, will lose the voice of its future. And a world in which culture speaks is a world that does not remain silent in the face of injustice. Let us build that world together. Let us initiate that every government establish a council for cultural diplomacy composed of writers, philosophers, and activists. Let us create a cultural council at the United Nations where writers and thinkers have a voice equal to that of economic experts. Let us proclaim a decade of moral infrastructure. Just as we build roads, let us build channels of understanding and ethics. Let us use the Balkan dilemma as a first step towards positive examples for the activities of Skopje, a place where dialogue is nurtured and solutions for the world are tested. Thank you.